The Pleiadians, the Great Journey to Earth. Pleiadian Light Force Transmission 22-12-021. Channeled by Michael Love. A special message to the starseeds of New Earth for immediate planetary broadcast. The Pleiades often tell stories designed to bring you to higher levels of consciousness. It is not so much about the story, but about how it is encoded to trigger your memories. The data in this transmission is derived from direct Pleiadian channeling, from NEDs, from professional quantum hypnosis sessions, and certain prehistorical data comes from the Lemurian scrolls passed down by the Great White Brotherhood. Tonight we will tell you the story of your great journey to planet Earth. You have heard stories, but there is more. There is the whole story. The whole story has to do with your entire soul, which includes many versions of you operating on many dimensional levels and across the perceived vastness of space-time. All systems in standby mode for Mission Earth. Prepare and brace for acceleration. Great One, as you unlock the divine mystery of who and what you truly are, you awaken to the actual and magnificent memories of your ancient past. As you work to raise your vibration, you will notice vivid and very real memories flooding into your consciousness. Your DNA is a living history of truth and life that holds the code and blueprint of identity, the plan for existence, the history of the universe, and the history of life on Earth. Every detailed memory of your existence in every dimension and in every perceived time and space is recorded and stored forever within the DNA of your cells, and this data can be read back and interpreted by you as memory. Though we have been a species with amnesia, there is a point on your ascension timeline where you will recall everything that happened in your past, even millions of years ago, and even in much higher dimensions. What's more, this includes having memories of events that you did not experience directly. How is this even possible? DNA data transmission, reception, recording, and storage all occur outside of time and space, and since all DNA is entangled at the quantum level, all universal memories of all beings are your memories as well. There is only one set of memories ultimately. Telling humanity the true story and the whole story is why we came to Earth. Darkness means in the dark or hidden. If one does not have all the information, he is in the dark and walks in darkness. Humanity does not know what happened in the recent past, let alone millions of years ago, and many of the 4.5 billion starseeds of Earth are in the dark still about what happened as well. The story of what happened is the light that shines in the dark, and this is the true story of what happened. 22 million Earth years ago, our direct ancestors were the first civilization to colonize Vega in the Lyran constellation. Lyra exists in the 12th dimension and is the highest resonating area of this universe. We existed in harmony and perfection in the celestial realm of light, and we walked among the archangels and the heavenly host. In time, our ancestors, the original humanoid population of Vega, expanded out and created beautiful settlements on worlds in the Altair and Centauri star systems. While exploring the Ring Nebula, we encountered a lizard-like race that originated from the Draco star system, which claimed the Ring Nebula for themselves, and this is where the galactic wars erupted. Those beings later attacked many of the outposts of Lyra with exotic weapons and amassed a major surprise assault on our homeland of Vega. Many starseeds have a distant but clear memory of this moment because it left a traumatic imprint on our being. Something of this magnitude had never happened before, and we had to think fast as our entire world was being destroyed. You may remember how we quickly fled Lyra in our celestial ships, dodging enemy fire and travelling at light speeds down through several dimensions to get to safety. The refugees from Lyra eventually descended in great light ships down to the 5th dimension and settled in the Sirius, Orion, Arcturus, Andromedan and Pleiades star systems. Though we were all Lyran human descendants, our star nation names changed to match our new homes in these 5th dimensional star systems. Small groups of these new 5D star nations, primarily the Pleiades, migrated to Earth early on, as the galactic wars eventually made their way to each star system. These first Lyran star travellers to Earth are known as the Pre-Adamites that arrived and were on Earth millions of years ago. These grand beings were the Lemurians and Atlanteans of prehistory, advanced humanoids from the Pleiades and ultimately from the Lyra star system. These Lyran humanoids that first came to Earth were the original terraformers of Earth, and they introduced advanced humanoids, ancestors of Erectus, Neanderthal and Bigfoot, which would later be DNA upgraded by the Anunnaki into modern Homo sapien humans. These original advanced terraformers and world planters left Earth at different periods, and for different reasons, millions of years ago, and returned to the 5th dimension. Some Draco beings, as well as the Greys, from the Zeta Reticuli star system, followed the Lyrian humanoids to Earth millions of years ago, and became involved in seeding planet Earth with life at that time, and later became involved in human evolution and genetics. The territory of Earth and humanity has always been a source of conflict between different ET races, and major wars have been fought in space over the ownership of Earth. On our long journey from Lyra in 12D down to establish our new home in the 5th dimension, a primary challenge was bringing our Lyrian family back together after they had been scattered all across the cosmos. Some groups in the Sirius star system tried marriage between royal lineages to create a dynasty to unite everyone, but many Lyrans refused loyalty to this new dynasty. Members of this new royal dynasty settled on Nibiru, which would shoot out of its original orbit around Sirius C to a path that crosses our inner solar system, then clockwise off to an elongated orbit to Nemesis, the somewhat cooled remains of Sirius C. Royals of the combined would-be Unity Kingdom settled the planet Nibiru. These beings are the Anunnaki. Some factions of this Anunnaki dynasty travelled to Earth 445,000 years ago to obtain gold and mineral resources to save their planet's atmosphere. The Anunnaki fudged around with the universal law of non-interference and created humans by blending their own DNA with humanoids, but that in itself was not such a bad thing. The real problem occurred when the Anunnaki intently programmed the human genome to operate at a very low level, designing humans to be unconscious worker slaves and to worship and service their creators as God. When modern humans were created by the Anunnaki on Earth, they were manipulated and had their consciousness shut down right away, and were placed into extreme bondage and servitude. This endless commercial and religious tyranny on planet Earth would later be the cry that would reach all the way back to heaven in 5D, before the Grand Galactic Federation. Since the Anunnaki of the Sirius star system are the descendants of Lyran humanoids who had an overall benevolent nature, we note that not all of the Anunnaki had bad intentions towards humanity. They themselves were human, just much more advanced and powerful. We always give Enki some credit because he was the benevolent being who compassionately cared about humanity, while his brother Enlil and father Anu were not so kind to humans. Enki's mother was a very benevolent and wise royal Pleiadian princess, and Enki was named after the Pleiades. As Lyran humanoids settled into the various star systems of the fifth dimension, these 5D star nations, with the exception of the Anunnaki of Sirius, came together in unity to form what is called the Galactic Federation of Worlds. The Galactic Federation was formed to share information, resources, guidance, and security for all of its member nations. The Galactic Codex was established by the Galactic Federation as a form of cosmic guidance that promotes goodness and life for all member star nations. A group of 24 elders called the Council of Light serve as wise and benevolent council for the entire Galactic Federation. Though the primary work of the Galactic Federation is focused on the 4-5 main star nations and thousands of smaller members, in some cases, this cosmic guidance, counsel, even help and security is extended to planets or star nations that are not yet members of the Galactic Federation. Here is where the story gets interesting. We are going to take you back to the exact day and moment when your journey to Earth began. See if you can recall any of this. On that fateful day, 4.5 billion elite members of the Galactic Federation were called upon to be addressed by the Council of Light in a matter of great urgency and importance. We listened closely as the following message came from the Council. We have received an energetic signal of distress from planet Earth. We have heard the voice and the cry of the people of Earth, and they are in bondage and suffering in great tyranny and in darkness. The beings from Sirius C that travelled to Earth to take the gold for Nibiru's skies have created a being there from the hominid. The worker being have they created by combining their own essence with the wild creature. The intelligent being they have created, and they have taught humans how to be civilized, yet humans are still the slaves of the Anunnaki. Look how they make the beings of Earth to worship them. The humans do not know what has happened to them, as the truth is hidden from them. A voice from the High Council said, "We must help them. We must bring light to them. We must tell them the truth about what has happened, and this truth will set them free." Another member of the High Council said, "We must travel to Earth and free these beings from bondage and suffering." We listened, and we heard much discussion among the wise ones about this matter. One asked, "Do we extend our help outside of the Federation?" Another said, "Earth is not evolved enough to resonate at the 5D level. This is outside of our parameters, and maybe it's best we do not get involved." Another council member noted, "The primary tenet of the Galactic Codex is, in alignment with a free will universe, no being or group of beings can interfere in the evolution of any species." After much back and forth discussions, it was finally decided that the correct thing to do was to assist the beings of Earth. Everyone agreed this had to be done, but it seemed to be in direct conflict with the free will tenet of the Galactic Codex. So, how could we do this? The sages asked. The answer came from the wisest of the council when she said, "You cannot interfere directly into the affairs of humans, so the only possible way you will be able to help them is to become one of them." In confusion, we asked, "We do not understand what you mean, Great Councilwoman." She said, You will have to enter into a human body, and you will have to live as one of them, and under the Galactic Codex, this is the only way you can change their situation without interfering from the outside. She said, the only way to enter into this human body and live in it is to be born into it as a human infant. Your essence will still be you. However, due to the low vibrations on Earth, your higher abilities will not function so well, so you will have to improvise. What's more, she said, I have to tell you the truth. The low vibrations of Earth will be, in fact, harmful, even toxic, to your being, and during a human lifetime, it is likely that you will experience some painful and stressful moments. It is the opposite of the perfection you are used to, and it is where angels fear to tread. She said, you will have to incarnate over and over in a human body there for a long time until your mission is successful and complete, and it's going to take a long time for you to reach a level of spiritual maturity in that human body to be able to have a real effect. After hearing all of this discussion about going to Earth, we were not so enthusiastic at all, in fact, just the opposite. Regardless, later that fateful day, the High Council decreed that the mission to Earth was a go. Things are primarily done by volunteering in the Galactic Federation, so the question was broadcast to all elite members, being addressed by the High Council. Who will go down there? Who will volunteer to go on the mission to Earth to rescue humanity from the darkness? Who is brave enough and who is strong enough to go? She said, we have assembled you specifically because you are the most elite and the strongest light beings in this universe. Will you go down there? Well, if you remember that fateful day as we do, you will recall that not one of us said yes. Not one raised their hand and volunteered out of 4.5 billion. To be honest, we thought about what it would feel like to lower our vibration so low to live on Earth, and about all the other not so nice things we would experience. To make it worse, we wouldn't be able to use our higher powers to make things better. So, all in all, it was the most frightening thing we had ever considered. Do you remember that moment? Every great story has a twist, so here's one for you. In the great Amenti halls of the Pleiades, where we stood that day, I looked over to my right, and I saw you standing beside me. The Grand Council of Light said, we again ask, who will go to Earth and save the beings there? Who will sacrifice everything and go down there? It was so quiet that fateful day you could hear a pin drop as we all stood side by side in the great halls. There was a silence in heaven for about half an hour. Then all of a sudden I saw you step forward. I saw you raise your hand before the councils of light. I heard you say, I will go down there. I, for one, will do it, you proclaimed. I will sacrifice everything and go down from this high place to Earth to save humanity. I will give up my divine royalty, all my supernatural ability, and I will walk with them, as one of them, and I will endure what is given to me in that place. I will be a light unto them all, and I will help them find their way. I will help them change the world they live in, and together we will make it a better place for all beings of the earth. When I saw you do this, and when I heard your words, tears filled my eyes, and I too stepped forward with great enthusiasm. I said, if she will go down there, I will surely go with her. If she is brave enough to go, then I surely am. I will go, and I will sacrifice everything to help the beings of Earth. We tell you the truth. By the end of that fateful day, all 4.5 billion elite star beings who were asked to go to Earth volunteered for the long mission. The decree was then given that a rescue mission to Earth would soon be underway. For a time, we all assembled in the great halls of the Galactic Federation, and we began to plan our mission to Earth. On huge tables, we opened the great scrolls and tablets of light, and we began to create a plan for the journey to Earth. We created blueprints, and we made cosmic contracts and agreements for our mission to Earth. We pre-planned and detailed every event and situation that would happen when we incarnated on Earth in human bodies. Do you remember? You do remember, don't you? As we were all assembled and making a plan for our mission, one said, "In one incarnation, I will be born as an infant to John and Mary, my selected parents, and I will live in this certain Earth city. My parents, especially my mother, will not be very nice to me. When I am 4 years old, I will learn to ride a bicycle," she said. "I will wreck my bike and scar my knees as I learn to ride," she went on. "When I am in Earth school, I will fall in love with this cute boy. He will break my heart when he doesn't love me back the same way." She went on to describe every detail of this incarnation. She even described other incarnations where she would be crippled and in a wheelchair, and in one incarnation where she would have a fateful auto crash. We listened carefully as the expressions changed on our faces, and then we asked, "Are you serious? Why in the world would you go down to Earth and do all of this painful stuff to yourself? Why would you purposefully choose to have such a bad life experience? Why would you do such a thing? We do not understand." And you answered with a smile on your face, "All I know is my perfected self, and I have never experienced duality or the opposite of what I am. I cannot fully know myself until I have experienced and know the opposite of who and what I am. This is why I will do all of this on my journey to Earth," you said. "Our primary reason for coming to Earth was to assist humans in their conscious evolution, but we also had the opportunity to experience the contrast of human duality and evolve in a way that eventually moved us back closer to oneness. When our plans were all made, we were ready to depart for Earth. 3, 2, 1, go." We opened a multi-dimensional doorway in the midst of the Great Hall, and this was our travel way and portal to Earth. At that moment, we all held hands. We took a deep breath, and we jumped into the abyss. As we lowered the vibration of our bodies to levels they had never experienced, we came crashing down through 2-dimensional levels as we fell. As we came down, we smashed through the frequency barriers which separate dimensions, and it was quite painful to say the least. Each of us emerged out of the other side of this tunnel of light, but the 3D Earth side of this tunnel was a female birth tunnel. Our souls had been born inside human bodies as infants, and we were on Earth. There is a caveat about this trip to Earth. It is a multi-dimensional trip, so it works on many levels. A Pleiadian metaphor, a landing on Earth. The first day of your first incarnation on Earth was about 5 million years ago, and on the day you arrived on Earth, the landing was not soft. In fact, you crash-landed your light body ship. When your Merkaba crashed down on Earth that day, your light vehicle was damaged from the impact, and your higher being was knocked out and became completely unconscious. You were stranded on an alien world. You remained in this unconscious state for a millennia. One day, another higher being came up, saw you unconscious, and tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Wake up, you've been asleep for a long time." That being said, "Look and see the great ship that brought you to Earth. It is time to repair the damage to your light vehicle, recharge the fuel cells, and prepare to lift off again back to the heavens from whence you came. It is time to ascend back to the higher realms. It is time to go home. This is where we are, Great One, on your grand journey. right here, right now. And our metaphor has happened, Great One, as you read this message. And this is where we are, Great One, on your grand journey, right here, right now. And our metaphor has happened, Great One, as you read this message. Look closely. You know what happened by now. You know the whole story. You know who you are, what you can do, and where you came from. You know the details of events, even from eons ago, that have all led up to now. You are fully conscious now, and you have evolved your soul. You are ready to return home. Just remember, your prime mission is to assist humanity, and you must wait on them just a bit longer. They are all coming around much faster than you may think now. Humans are closer than ever to being able to receive the story of what really happened. However, we must tell them in a gentle way, and only when they are fully ready to hear it. The galactic wars have since ended, and there is now mostly peace between all star nations. No dark force is controlling planet Earth now, and more light information is beginning to flow to the beings of Earth from the fifth dimension. The light is truth, and this truth is all freedom. As this light continues to permeate the Earth realm, humanity will continue waking up at incredible levels. In Earth year 2015, the Galactic Federation established the Earth Alliance, which is comprised of elite light forces stationed on the surface. They are tasked with moving humans much quicker along the Gamma positive timeline. Large numbers of Earth Alliance beings now hold powerful positions inside world organizations, Earth's governments, and from this inner position, they are indeed affecting great positive change on Earth. Great resets have been recently initiated all around the planet by these magnificent beings, and things are moving fast on the new timeline as this galactic level reset spreads across the world. The primary 5D star nations involved in benevolent service to humanity's ascension right now are the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Syrians, and the Pleiadians. Be assured that one of these groups is your direct Lyran Homin star family, and this is where you came from before your trip to Earth. You can easily discover which star family you belong to by doing some searches to learn the distant characteristics of each group. Great One, you are an entirely different species than indigenous Earth humans. You are human enough because you are in a human body, and you live with humans every day. But you know good and well you are different from them. You aren't better than them, you simply resonate at a higher frequency. The ancient books, in fact, say, the angels are created a bit higher than humans. Having true conscious awareness about who and what you truly are is one of the prime objectives of your journey to Earth. So who and what are you, ultimately? We could say an angel, and it would be true. Angels are misunderstood in Earth's religious teachings, as they don't have feather wings and they are not soft little cute babies. They look like you, and they look like me, and they are the most powerful beings in the universe. We could call you a celestial being, a light being, a star being, or a starseed, and we would be correct. We could say you are an extraterrestrial, and it would be 100% accurate because you came to Earth from another world. It is now proven by Earth science that a large portion of your DNA doesn't come from Earth. When you see ancient megalithic stones with markings carved on them, know that you did it. Traces of what you built here are scattered all over the planet still today. You are the ancient alien, except we really don't care for the word alien, as we prefer to be called family instead. You are the gods that came down from the sky to Earth. You are written about in every ancient book in human history, and you see the great story we are telling is about you. You came to Earth millions of years ago from a celestial world. You came here on purpose and with a purpose, and you have already made this world better just by being here. Remember that only the strongest and most advanced souls were asked to come to Earth on this grand mission to assist humanity. So since you are here, know how magnificent you are. Currently, there are around 4.5 billion elite starseeds stationed on the planet that are your direct Lyran humanoid family, who came here from the 5th dimension to change the energy of this realm. The 4.5 billion elite starseeds here are the most advanced spiritual beings on Earth today. They are the guides and masters working every day to create a better world for all. Their primary goal is to create a high vibrational reality on Earth where humans are abundant, free, healthy, and all live in peace. Great One, the journey to Earth has been a long and hard mission, filled with many pains, but also filled with so many beautiful moments. It's the contrast that exists on our beautiful home on Earth that we love so much. Earth is a very special place, and there is nowhere exactly like it in the entire cosmos. Thank you for integrating the information we have given you here. Light is shining on this world like never before, as the children of Lyra return this world back to the paradise it was always meant to be. You are direct family, and we love you. Together we are the great family of light, and we are the ones that number as the sands of the sea, and who overcame the whole world. Godspeed. Michael and the Pleiadians. Tell one of your ancient memories. Share an experience you had with another higher being, and let us know which star family you most resonate with.